Good day to everybody watching this. Today we are actually going to talk about the cost per mile and the cost per mile calculation when you're in trucking, particularly if you're asset based and you're looking to get into trucking. Cost per mile calculation is one of the most critical financial calculations that you have to perform for your type of business, your type of delivery business, your type of logistics business. Even if you're an independent courier, or you drive for, Walmart, or even if you want to become an Amazon delivery driver, the calculation itself can benefit you. Let alone if you're running a trucking company with the big rigs that are running down the road, the 53 footers and the 48 footers and the specialized equipment that you may be running as well. So knowing your cost per mile for your operation is incredibly useful if you want to scale properly. Now, you don't need any kind of crazy expensive calculator for this. You just need to follow some steps in order to calculate this for yourself. So why you should calculate your cost per mile? It can really help you see and indicate whether you can make a profit based on the current rates you are being paid to move from point A to point B. And it also informs your business's performance and helps you make better business decisions moving forward after any shipment or before you even take any shipment. It'll also show you if you should take a load or not based off of what that return would look like. You can also see what your patterns are in terms of your expenses and your costs and your spending. And you can see where you need to cut those costs or where you potentially could cut those costs to increase the profit or the margin that you have per shipment, day over day, month over month, year over year. And it also helps you to arrive at a right transportation, trucking, fair market price to avoid losing money on a load, but also being able to service your customers and likewise to remain busy and to remain having volume on that end as well. So to calculate the cost per mile for your type of service that you have, you'll need to really look at some specific parts. You got to look at your expense receipts for any particular month in question under consideration. This has to include any fuel that you purchase, any food costs. You got to look at all of your bills. So that includes truck payments, the insurance, both auto and cargo, your health insurance as well. You also got to look at your readings off of your equipment, your different trucks that you have or different units that you're moving from the beginning and the end of the month, and then that will give you the total miles that you did run to get to, from point A to point B, respectively. So, how do you calculate your cost per mile? It's very simple. It's total costs within, let's say, a month divided by or over the total miles ran, and that's your total cost per mile. And so your total cost is made up three primary categories of costs. You have your fixed costs, you have your variable expenses, and you have your salary costs. So fixed costs are costs you incur even if your vehicle is actually not moving. And this can include vehicle registration fees, insurance, truck payments, and license plate fees that come with this. And so those are your fixed costs. Your variable costs are costs you incur based on how much you deliver or the scale of your delivery logistics business. So these costs directly affect your business, and they can include any kind of brokering costs that you have involved in that, the cost of the fuel consumption, the meals, the repairs, the maintenance, and the tires, and those are your variable costs. Now, in addition to that, like I mentioned, the third thing is salary costs, and salary costs significantly impact the cost per mile. So it really does have to be looked at, and salaries are the highest recurring or variable costs, and it includes wages, payroll fees, employee benefits, and employment taxes as well. So you need to get your total costs to sum up and add all these costs that you have together. So you have your fixed costs, you have your variable expenses, and you have your salary costs. And this will give you total costs. And so let's say, for example, you had license plate costs of $100, and you have truck payments of $3,000, and you have so that's $3,100 just there. Then you have insurance of let's say $1,000. Obviously, it's going to be more than that in the current stage that we're all at. It's closer to $2,000, but let's say $1,000. And this includes, let's say, accident insurance, workers' compensation, cargo, and auto. And so just to make it simple, let's say that's $1,000. So that's $4,100 just in fixed costs alone that you have for a specific month. Let's say February of let's say this year that you're doing this for the first time. Your variable cost for February, let's say fuel is $5,000. Let's say meals is $500. Let's say additional miscellaneous fees is $100. Repairs and maintenance is $1,500. Let's say tolls and any kind of additional certifications or permits that you may need to run down the road is $300. That'll give you your total variable costs. And now, in addition to that, you have salary costs. So you have your wages, you have your payroll fees, you have your employment taxes, you have your employee benefits that you pay into, and that will give you your salary cost for that month. And then you can take a look at your total cost for that month, let's say February, and you take those total miles, and you take those total costs and you get a total of what it has cost you to stay in business, right? And that's your step one, is to figure out what exactly it is that your total costs are to run your operation. The next step is to calculate the total miles that it will take in that month that you're looking at. So the odometer readings have to be accounted for in miles from each vehicle that you have in your fleet. And then you can calculate those total miles for the reading at the end of the month compared to the reading at the beginning of the month. So you take the odometer reading from the end of the month and you subtract the odometer reading from the beginning of the month to give you your total miles for that specific month. The next step is to calculate your cost per mile. So you take your total cost for February and you divide it by your total miles that you ran, which will give you your total cost. Every company is different. It all depends on where you are in your operation and what kind of costs you have and what part of your costs are higher than others. So let's say you're a dry van and your total costs are $2.25 per mile. That's your total cost per mile. You have to be giving your customers a rate of $2 and 25 cents per mile just to remain at balance, just to stay in business. Any additional cent per mile after that will be your profit. So if you want your 15% profit, you add your 15% to the 225 to have a healthy profit. Now again, trucking companies can be anywhere from 2% to 9% on average in terms of the mom and pop shops, to stay in business and have a slight profit and a slight margin on the loads that they run. And once you have this, you're able to understand that once you have calculated this, you can then better align your business with who can pay you to stay in business. You don't want to be running at a below or suboptimal rate where then you are now bleeding money out of your own pocket just to stay afloat. So you should calculate your cost per mile, usually for the first 3 months, and then your first 6 months, and finally at the year's end. So if you've been in business for more than a year, you should calculate the cost every 6 months thereafter. And how can you reduce your cost per mile? So it's hard to reduce the operating expenses that impact your cost per mile driven. However, you can make significant savings by adopting the right strategies and tools out there that can help you get around these hurdles, right? So, being able to plan your routes accordingly, being able to avoid toll routes, being able to maybe market, design, plan your business around doing something that's potentially regional compared to national. Or maybe you have super high volume taking you from the West Coast to the East Coast of the US or Canada, respectively, and you want to just specifically stay there because you seem to have found a niche there. Your customers pay you above your cost per mile to stay healthy on the roads, and I mean financially healthy on the roads, and be able to actually perform and not go out of business. Then you stay in that niche, and everybody is going to be different. But the cost per mile is something that you have to take into matters, and you have to know this. And like I said, if you're a new business, look at the first 3 months and look at your cost per mile. Then you take the next 6 months and you look at the cost per mile. Then you take it at the end of the year, and that'll give you your that for that year, that cost per mile, to see where you can improve and how you can improve better moving forward, and to be able to scale your business in a respectable manner. And this is true, like I said, it's true for independent couriers. It's true for Walmart. If you're driving for Walmart, it's true for Amazon deliveries. It's true if you're an owner or operator for some, bigger fleet. It's true for trucking company, mom and pop shops that have 1 to 15 trucks, which makes 90% of the capacity in North America, actually more than 90%. And so this is true across the board. And it doesn't matter what kind of equipment you have either. You can have, like I said, cargo vans, straight trucks, box trucks, dry vans, step decks, flatbeds, and then the bigger stuff going on multi-axle configurations, moving heavily specialized freight, whether overdimensional or overweight, oversized. So with that being said, you definitely should look at your cost per mile. If you found this video valuable and something of benefit to you, please like, comment, share, open a discussion if you'd like. It's about being prepared and being able to really, really mitigate risk and mitigate any financial issues that you could have coming at you that you could have avoided if you took the time to really look at your business as a whole. So again, transportation world is a wild business, but it's fun. It's very exhilarating, and it can definitely bring you life-changing results if you go down the right way, go about it the right way. I know a guy that, he had 1 truck and he grew to 3 trucks, and then he exploded to 40 trucks, and volume was going very good. This guy, next thing you know, he's got 200 trucks. The next thing you know, he's buying 200 trailers, and he's got trailer pools now for certain customers. And so he did it the right way by calculating his cost per mile and staying above that, and taking his business year over year and another step further by managing his costs and cost-related issues within running a business. So again, thank you very much for listening. I hope you found this valuable. Feel free to open a discussion in the comments. Feel free to give me constructive criticism as well. Or if you want to just on me, that's fine as well. Just let me know in the comments, please. Let me know what your thoughts and feelings are towards this. And again, I hope I did help somebody today. Even if I helped one person, I think I've done well. And we will continue going down this route. Again, keep on going, keep on transiting. Respect to all of you hardworking people out there in the trucking and logistics business. I know what it's like. I know what it takes. I know it's not easy. The grind is a real grind, but it is rewarding business. It is a rewarding business that can take you away from just working and living to work, and bring you back a step and kind of look at life from a much brighter perspective. So again, thank you very much. Cheers, God bless, and keep on trucking. Respect.